What if I told you that the secret to transforming your entire life is not hidden in your conscious thoughts, but in the deeper, silent force of your subconscious mind, the invisible operating system that runs in the background and controls 95% of your decisions, behaviors, and habits without you even realizing it? Think about it carefully. You may believe that willpower and conscious effort alone shape your destiny, but science and psychology reveal a more powerful truth. It is your subconscious that quietly dictates your confidence, your fears, your relationships, your financial decisions, even how much success or failure you allow yourself to experience. And if you do not learn to reprogram this hidden giant, you will keep repeating the same cycles of frustration, self-doubt, and procrastination, no matter how hard you try consciously. But if you take control of your subconscious, you can unlock levels of power, focus, and discipline that will make you unstoppable. And the very first step to building a powerful subconscious mind begins with something so simple, yet so overlooked: the input you feed it every single day. Because your subconscious is like the most fertile soil in existence. It does not care what seeds you plant. It only multiplies whatever is dropped into it. So if you feed it weeds of negativity, self-doubt, fear, gossip, and toxicity, it will grow those weeds until your entire mental garden is overrun. But if you feed it seeds of discipline, gratitude, courage, and vision, it will grow a forest of strength so powerful that nothing can stop you. Think about it again. Most people never achieve the life they dream of, not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they spend years unconsciously feeding their subconscious with poison. Every negative news headline, every conversation filled with complaints, every social media post comparing them to someone else is another drop of poison that sinks deep into their subconscious and quietly reprograms them to expect failure. And that is why so many people work hard but remain stuck. They are trying to live a life of success while programming their subconscious for defeat. You must understand, the subconscious does not argue with you. It does not reject what you feed it. It simply accepts and multiplies. So if you repeat to yourself, "I'm not good enough. I always fail. I don't deserve this," your subconscious nods and says, "Yes, that is true." And then it works 24/7 to create situations that match that belief. But here's the secret. You can reverse it. You can start feeding it new input, and over time, it will change your entire reality. Imagine this. Instead of waking up and scrolling through negativity, you start your day by listening to powerful affirmations, reading even one page of an inspiring book, visualizing your goals with clarity, and surrounding yourself with people who speak life into you. Day by day, these seeds drop into your subconscious and begin to grow roots. And at first, nothing seems different. You won't see results immediately. But just like a seed under the soil, transformation is happening where you cannot see it. And one day, when the roots are strong enough, the plant breaks through the ground and suddenly everyone notices the growth. That's how your subconscious works. The challenge, however, is that your old seeds, your old habits of negative input, will fight back. They will whisper, "This is useless. You've tried before and failed. You'll never change." And in that moment, you must remember, those voices are not the truth. They are just old weeds clinging to survival. And if you keep planting new seeds long enough, the old weeds die. This is why the first step is non-negotiable. Guard your input with your life. If a friend constantly complains, limit your exposure. If your social media feeds you negativity, clean it up. If your environment fills your head with noise, change it. Because the truth is, your subconscious is like a child. It absorbs without question. Would you let your child eat poison every day? Then why do you let your subconscious consume it? Guarding your input is not just discipline, it is survival. So starting today, every time you allow something into your mind, ask yourself, is this food for growth or poison for destruction? And if it is poison, cut it off. This one decision, to feed your subconscious the right input, is the foundation for everything else. Without it, the other steps won't work. With it, you begin to unlock unstoppable power. So declare it right now in the comments. I will feed my mind power, not poison. Because when you write it, speak it, or repeat it, you start programming your subconscious immediately. Now, once you learn to feed your subconscious the right input, you must move to the second step, which is to master the language your subconscious actually understands. And that language is not logic. It is not reason. It is not complicated arguments. It is repetition and emotion. You see, your conscious mind is logical. It loves facts. It wants to analyze, compare, and debate. But your subconscious doesn't care about facts. It only cares about what it experiences over and over again with feeling. Think about a child learning to walk. The child doesn't study a manual on balance, doesn't analyze physics or geometry. It simply tries, falls, tries again, falls again, until the act of walking becomes subconscious. That is how the subconscious learns, through repetition until the pattern is automatic. Now realize what this means. Everything you are today, every habit, every fear, every limitation, every skill was programmed into you through repetition. And most of the time, you weren't even aware it was happening. If as a child you repeatedly heard, "You're not smart, you're not worthy, money is evil, life is hard," those repeated messages, especially when charged with emotion, sank deep into your subconscious and began to shape your identity. And now, even as an adult, you might logically know those statements are wrong. But your subconscious still runs those old programs in the background, sabotaging your success. But what was programmed can be reprogrammed. Just like software can be updated, your subconscious can be rewritten. And the tools are repetition and emotion. Every time you repeat a thought with strong emotion, whether positive or negative, you are installing it into your subconscious like a new program. That is why affirmations work, not because they are magic words, but because they are repeated commands. If you say, "I am confident, I am capable, I am unstoppable" once, your subconscious ignores it. But if you say it 100 times a day with conviction, your subconscious begins to accept it. And once it accepts it, it becomes part of your identity. And identity always dictates behavior. For example, if you keep telling yourself, "I am disciplined, I am focused," eventually your subconscious aligns your actions to match. And without even realizing it, you start making disciplined choices. On the other hand, if you constantly repeat, "I'm always tired, I can't do this, I'm unlucky," your subconscious obeys those commands too. And your body, energy, and decisions fall into line with that identity. That is why people who constantly talk about their failures keep failing. They are rehearsing failure. But those who rehearse success in their minds, who visualize it so strongly they can feel the emotions, often manifest it in reality, because the subconscious cannot distinguish between imagination and reality when emotion is involved. Athletes know this well. Before stepping onto the field, champions close their eyes and visualize scoring the goal, hitting the perfect shot, standing victorious, and they feel the emotion of that victory as if it has already happened. By the time they walk onto the field, their subconscious already believes they have won, and that belief fuels their actions. The same strategy is used by leaders, speakers, and performers around the world. They rehearse not just with logic, but with emotion and repetition until their subconscious cannot tell the difference. So let me ask you, what are you rehearsing daily? Are you rehearsing fear by constantly imagining what could go wrong, by repeating your past failures, by replaying your mistakes? Or are you rehearsing courage, success, and victory? Your subconscious is listening all the time. Every thought you repeat is like a rehearsal for your future. That is why if you want to reprogram it, you must take control of your repetitions. Start each morning with affirmations that are powerful, emotional, and specific. Don't just whisper them. Say them with passion. Feel them in your body. Imagine them in your mind. When you say, "I am disciplined," see yourself waking up early, working hard, pushing past obstacles. When you say, "I am wealthy," imagine yourself managing money wisely, creating opportunities, building abundance. When you say, "I am confident," imagine yourself walking into a room, shoulders back, head high, speaking clearly. Repetition builds the habit. Emotion seals it into the subconscious. But remember, the same rule applies to negative emotions. If you repeat anger, fear, or despair with strong emotion, your subconscious will absorb that too. So guard not only your thoughts, but the emotions you attach to them, because one repetition with deep emotion can be more powerful than 100 repetitions without it. Consistency is everything. You cannot repeat something once and expect change. Just like lifting weights once won't build muscle, repeating an affirmation once won't reprogram your mind. But just as daily exercise transforms the body, daily repetition transforms the subconscious. This is why rituals are powerful. When you make your affirmations, your visualizations, and your positive self-talk part of your daily routine, your subconscious has no choice but to adapt. And once it adapts, your new patterns become automatic. Imagine how life changes when confidence, discipline, and success become automatic. You no longer have to force it. You simply are it. That is the power of repetition and emotion. So I challenge you, starting tonight, before you go to bed, repeat 3 affirmations with strong emotion. Visualize your goals as if they are already real. Feel the gratitude as if you've already received them. and let your subconscious absorb it while you sleep. Because when you sleep, your conscious mind rests, but your subconscious keeps working, replaying the last emotions and thoughts you gave it. And tomorrow morning, when you wake up, do it again. Keep repeating, keep feeling, keep programming. And slowly, without you even noticing, your subconscious will shift, your identity will shift, and your destiny will shift. If this message resonates, pause for a second and declare your commitment in the comments. I will reprogram my subconscious with repetition and emotion. And now we come to the third and final step, one that very few people talk about, yet it silently shapes your entire destiny, aligning your environment with your vision. Most people believe that their thoughts alone are enough to reprogram the subconscious, but they forget that the subconscious is not just influenced by what you think. It is influenced by everything you see, hear, touch, and feel in your surroundings. Your environment is constantly feeding your subconscious signals, and the subconscious absorbs them without filter. If your room is cluttered, your desk is messy, your walls are blank or filled with distractions, your subconscious receives a silent message: chaos, disorder, confusion. On the other hand, if your space is clean, organized, and decorated with reminders of your goals, your subconscious absorbs clarity, focus, success. Without realizing it, your environment is either programming you to stay stuck or pushing you to grow. That is why successful people carefully design their environments. They know that willpower fades, but environment is permanent. A vision board on the wall is not just decoration. It is a subconscious reminder of where you are going. A journal on your desk is not just a notebook. It is a silent invitation to reflect and grow. A library of books within your reach is not just paper. It is constant proof that wisdom surrounds you. And the people you allow into your space, friends, colleagues, even family, are not just company. They are the strongest environmental influence of all. Because your subconscious listens to their words, absorbs their emotions, and mirrors their habits. If you are surrounded by complainers, your subconscious starts repeating their complaints. If you are surrounded by dreamers and doers, your subconscious begins to dream and act. This is why it is said, "Show me your friends, and I will show you your future." Imagine your subconscious as a sponge. Whatever your environment drips into it, music, conversations, colors, order or disorder, it soaks up and holds. If your environment constantly whispers, average, mediocre, impossible, then even if you say affirmations in the morning, your environment will undo them by night. But if your environment shouts growth, success, abundance in every corner, then even on days when you feel weak, your subconscious keeps receiving power from your surroundings. So ask yourself, what does your environment say about your vision? If I walked into your room right now, would I see reminders of where you want to be? Or would I see evidence of who you've been trying to escape? If I opened your phone, would I see apps, notes, and playlists that feed your growth, or endless distractions that drain your focus? If I looked at your circle of friends, would I see people pushing you higher or people pulling you lower? Remember, your subconscious mind is like a child. It learns not by lectures, but by example. And your environment is the example it follows. This is why changing your environment is often the fastest way to change your subconscious. If you want to be more disciplined, create an environment where discipline is easy. Put your workout clothes by your bed. Remove junk food from your kitchen. Place your to-do list on your desk. If you want to be more creative, surround yourself with colors, images, and music that spark inspiration. If you want to be more successful financially, spend time with people who talk about opportunities, investments, and growth, instead of people who only complain about lack. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. And once your environment is aligned with your vision, your subconscious automatically adjusts because it sees no contradiction between your inner world and your outer world. Imagine this alignment. You wake up in a room where the first thing you see is your vision board. You open your journal and write your intentions. You walk into a clean space that feels energized. You meet friends who talk about ideas instead of gossip. You consume content that expands your mind instead of shrinking it. In such an environment, your subconscious is being trained 24/7 without you even trying. And when your subconscious is surrounded by growth, you start to feel uncomfortable in mediocrity. You can't stand wasted time. You can't tolerate negativity. You can't stay in places that don't match your vision. That discomfort is your subconscious rejecting the old environment and demanding the new. That is the signal that transformation is real. So if you want to reprogram your subconscious permanently, stop fighting it in isolation and start designing an environment that forces it to grow. Remove one toxic influence today. Add one empowering symbol today. Clean one space today. Call one inspiring person today. Each small shift in your environment is like adjusting the soil for a plant. The healthier the soil, the faster the growth. And your subconscious, like that plant, cannot help but grow toward the light. Remember this: you cannot build a palace of success while living in a cave of chaos. Align your environment with your vision, and your subconscious will follow. So declare it right now in the comments. I will align my environment with my vision. Because when you speak it, when you commit to it, your subconscious begins to shift immediately. And once you align your input, your repetition, and your environment, your subconscious transforms from a silent enemy into the most powerful ally you could ever have. And when that happens, you won't just change your thoughts, you will change your destiny. Fahad chaho tumhe ise aur expand karke